Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video we're going to be using Gilbert Burns, who I believe is the best welterweight fighter out there, and it's going to be Division 20 online gameplay. It's going to be slightly different from my other two videos in the sense that I'm specifically, throughout most of the video, going to be talking directly about how good Gilbert Burns is, because I still don't feel like a lot of people know how good he is, and once you learn how to use him and get comfortable with him, there won't be another fight in the welterweight division for you. And looking at the welterweight division, it's pretty stacked in terms of quality of fighters, but we know the meta this year is boxing, and if we take the three main other welterweight fighters that I come up against, and I'll name them now. So you've got Leon Edwards, Jorge Masvidal, and then the third I'd say is a toss-up between Tony Ferguson and GSP. They're the ones I'm mainly come up against, and they're all good fighters. They're all very good fighters, especially Leon and Jorge. They fit the meta almost perfectly because you push forwards, you break the guard, and then you'll knock out your opponent. And so whenever I talk to my friends that play UFC and I say that Gilbert Burns is the best welterweight, or I use Gilbert Burns, they're normally quite surprised. They don't understand why I'm using him. And throughout this video, I'm gonna proceed to explain to you why he's the best fighter in the welterweight division, and why I believe if you learn how to use him, you will never go back to another fighter. So the first gameplay on the screen, I'm against a Division 15 fighter, and you can see it's been about 30 seconds, and he shot for a takedown, which I've denied. And throughout this fight, you're going to see that he's going to shoot multiple takedowns. He's going to try to get to the ground, and you're going to see the work that Gilbert Burns can do on the feet. And then if it does go to the ground, you're going to see what Burns can also do. So if I break down quickly what makes him the most complete fighter, which is going to be shown through this video and the next gameplay, it'll just follow straight on from this. So let's start with his wrestling. Gilbert Burns' wrestling is unreal, and a lot of people don't realise this. His takedown defence and even takedowns are top tier, especially his takedown defence, and you're going to see that in this first gameplay. This opponent, throughout the whole thing, probably tries to take me down about 10 times, and I'm not even sure how many he gets, maybe 1 or 2. So his takedown defence is very good, and if you're someone that's not very confident on the ground, and you're good at boxing, and you can push the meta, you can use Gilbert Burns because he's listed as a boxer on this game. He's got very good hands, so you can push the pace and not have to worry about getting taken down. And if you do get taken down, his jiu-jitsu is phenomenal. He's got some of the main transitions I like. So if someone takes me down and they get me to side control, he's got the option to go straight past everything, so the opponent will go in his full guard. From the full guard, you can go to the rubber guard, and there, as long as you get used to denying the transitions, which is left or right, or deny down when they go to the stack guard, you can then end up on top of them, and now you're controlling the fight. And even from rubber guard, you can dictate where the fight goes. You can end up on top of them, or you can end up in side control. And his submissions are off the charts. If you get them in an armbar, Kimura, armbar triangle, it's going to cause a lot of problems for them. And where people, I feel like even at a higher level, so division, let's say 15 to 20, I'd say are quite high level players, a lot of them don't necessarily watch every UFC event. They don't necessarily know every fighter. And Gilbert Burns, although he's a popular fighter, he's only just recently started getting into the limelight. Obviously had a big win against Tyron Woodley, former champ, dominated him for 5 rounds. And now I believe it's February 13th, he's going to be fighting the current champ, Usman. It's only now people are starting to realise and know of his name. So he's still not a fan favourite, and I think that translates to this game because a lot of people don't know what he's good at. So when you're picking him in the loaded screen, they see boxer, so they're like, oh, okay, he's just a boxer. But he's not. His jiu-jitsu is, I'd say, his main thing. So if he gets taken to the ground, his submissions, and now his kick game is very, very good. And in this gameplay right now against this opponent, you're going to see that I'm throwing the leg kicks and they do a lot of damage. He's also got the teep kick, which is very, very good. I think the teep kick is one of the best kicks this year, because if you're getting pressured, a little teep can push him back and it has a knock-on effect on the stamina. So his kick game is very, very underrated as well. And now, this is one thing that, yeah, the ground game surprises people, his wrestling, his kicking surprises people, but the main thing that even surprised me is that he has knockout power. And I'm not talking about you have to rock him 2-3 times and then you get one of those jab knockouts. I'm talking about you can be dominated for the first 3 rounds and you have one shot and it puts that opponent to sleep. And that's a saving grace, because no matter how good you are, which I say I'm quite a high level player, obviously being in Division 20, you will come up against someone that just dominates you. And to know that he has that one shot power, doesn't matter if it's from an overhand or from a head kick, to knock out the other player, that's something you can have on your mind. Because there's been fights in the past that I haven't recorded that I've been getting absolutely dominated. You're going to the 4th or 5th, I haven't rocked the opponent once. I'll either hook him when he's against the cage, knockout. Overhand, knockout. Head kick, knockout. So I think that's one thing a lot of people don't realise, is that he actually does have the power for, if you're in trouble and you need that one shot finish, you can get it. And if you compare him, so if we stack him up against, let's say, the next best 3 welterweight, so let's start with GSP, since we're fighting him in this fight now, and the next fight the opponent is also using GSP. So GSP is a balanced fighter, got good hands, good kicks, great ground game, great wrestling. So I'd say he's probably the most competitive to Gilbert Burns, but he has no chin whatsoever. He gets hit once, and it's a very, very big problem with GSP. Once you get rocked once, it's like, okay, you're going to get rocked every other 3rd strike. Gilbert Burns does not have that issue. Moving on to Leon Edwards. The striking, obviously Edwards would have the upper hand, especially with the kicks. But Leon Edwards doesn't have the best of ground games. Jorge Masvidal, he would obviously have the advantage on the feet with the pressure boxing, the kicks. But then you go to the clinch, the wrestling, the submissions, all Gilbert Burns. Even if you compare him to someone like Usman, which I don't come up against often, but obviously when you come up against Usman, you know they're going to try ragdoll you, have you against the cage, put you on the mat. Gilbert Burns stacks up great because he doesn't feel as stiff as Usman. That might be due to his body type in the game. He doesn't feel as stiff. He's got better boxing combinations. His kicks are better. Obviously Usman's got the better wrestling, but on the ground, it's going to be hard for Usman to control you, because your submission threat is so high that if you deny a couple posture ups or a couple moves to side control, half guard, it's all you takes is one submission. So no matter where the fight goes, you can be comfortable with Gilbert Burns. So if we're talking about the gameplay or something right now, this opponent's tried taking me down so many times throughout this fight, and he finally gets the takedown. I think this might be his 2nd takedown, so he gets the takedown this round. I'll put him in rubber guard. Okay, and the important thing is you need to know how to deny transition. I deny him from stack guarding, and look at that, puts me right on top. And now I'm in control of the ground game, and look at his stamina, it's gone down completely. So I'm in control of this whole transition right now, and this fight I've been dominating. But the opponent, his game plan was to get me to the ground because that's where he thought he could dominate. And I'm not sure if that's obviously that he might just back himself. He might think he's very good on the ground, or he might think that's where GSP excels compared to Gilbert Burns. Maybe he doesn't know how good Burns is on the ground, which often not is the case. In all my other fights, people try to take me to the ground. Doesn't matter who they're with, they'll try to take me to the ground with Gilbert Burns, and it makes me laugh because they don't realise they're actually potentially putting themselves in more danger. So again, now he goes for another takedown after I rocked him, which was good. I should have expected it because I was trying to force it out of him. Couldn't get it. From there, he was in side control, went straight to full guard. I love that transition. I'm not in danger here because I know that he's not going to hit me from full guard because I know he's going to posture up. So I denied that transition. And as you can see, GSP has very good submission defense. My opponent's submission defense isn't the best. So as soon as I get to the midway point of this armbar, thinking, yeah, the fight's over, especially when the throw strikes comes up. So if any of you don't know, you now have the option to throw strikes while submitting someone. And there's also counters to it, so the opponent can defend that, or they've got slams for the arm bars that you sort of start. And all you've got to do is press the button that comes on screen. And to deny it, you have to press it at the same time. You have to press it before them, and they can't do that transition. So where it said slam, I obviously pressed the button first, then he did, and then he couldn't get the slam, which would have saved him. So yeah, from this fight you could see that I was dominating on the stand-up, absolutely dominating. The leg kicks were doing great, which is one of my favourite tools. And then he wanted to get the fight so bad to the ground that when it finally went there, he got submitted. So it just shows you how good Gilbert Burns is. So the next fight, we've got another opponent using GSP. And I believe this opponent is a Division 19 player. So I was expecting, obviously, a better fight because Division 15 to Division 19. It's a big step up. And I don't quite understand. I understand why people use GSP, but the chin health for me is it's a big negative for GSP because I feel like I get rocked in a lot of my fights, and GSP just doesn't have enough for me to recover. So this fight, I think, it's a perfect example of a high level fight and why Gilbert Burns is the perfect fighter for these types of fights. So this fight, from start to finish, I'm getting pressured by this opponent, and I'm just going to say this opponent was a very, very good player. He knew how to use GSP very well, and he wasn't phased by it. Obviously, he understands that GSP's head health isn't great, but he wasn't phased by that. He was in the pocket, he was boxing, he was throwing kicks, and he was damaging to the body. And you'll see as throughout this gameplay goes on, he's a very, very good fighter. And you see there, he goes for the takedown, which I was out of range for. Which is another thing. Obviously, if people are going for takedowns, you can move out of range, and they won't be able to get it. You don't have to always deny the takedown. You can do that little side lunge back or side lunge to the left or right, and it'll mess up their takedown. So this fight is already very different to the first fight, because the first fight we had, the guy was constantly shooting for takedowns, constantly. He wanted to get it on the mat. This guy's mixing in the combos, mixing in his takedowns. Although obviously I've denied two and I've got one from the trip, his takedown selection is a lot better than the first opponent's, and he's just being overall smarter with how he's throwing his combinations and trying to mix in the takedowns. He makes very, very few mistakes in this fight, and he puts me in danger this fight. Like, I'd say was pretty dominating throughout. I think this fight lasts around 2-3 rounds, and throughout most of it is me trying to survive. And this round in particular, he's doing so much damage to the body you'll start to notice that he throws a lot of body kicks, and I haven't really got a good answer for it. Like, I blocked this one, but I was constantly trying to catch them because I wanted to take him to the ground, because the first time I caught it, I tripped him, and I didn't get on top because I just wanted to show that I can trip you, but I didn't want to show him how good my ground game was, because 5-round fight, it's the first round, I just want to feel him out, see how good he is. And I always think it's best to leave some of your better tools to the second or third round. You don't want to show off your full arsenal straight away. You want to get them comfortable in one area and then completely switch on them, so when you take them to the ground they're like, oh, okay. So yeah, this guy's pressuring me so well. He's doing a very good job, but right now he's done damage to me, but I'm just trying to remain calm. It's only the first round of 5, and there's still a lot of ways this fight can go, because the next round, if it keeps going the way it is, I'm obviously going to have problems, because if you look right now, my stamina bar is very low for round 1 already, and in a 5-round fight, in my head right now, if this goes past the 3rd round, my stamina is going to be taxed so heavily, and I'm not sure the position his stamina is in. So right now, I'm just going to have an educated guess and think, because his shot selection was better, although he was throwing quite a lot of strikes, I'm going to say he's going to have more stamina. So I'm going to have that in the back of my mind, that even if it's not true, I might have more stamina, I'm just going to think he has more, so I limit my shot selection. So going into this one, my stamina is not as bad as I initially anticipated. It's still not great, he's still taking quite a bit off, but I'm assuming he has better stamina, and right now I need to limit how much I'm using this round for if it goes past the 3rd, because the 3rd, 4th, obviously the 4th and 5th championship rounds, and if he's hitting me to my body and I'm not got a lot of stamina, it's not going to take much to finish me, because I've taken so much damage. So he rocks me here again this round, and I'm thinking, right, I want to get this to the ground, but I don't know why, I still had a feeling that I was comfortable on the feet. I was like, I just need a bit more time and I can get a rock, I'm going to get stunned. But he's starting to hurt me bad, and this is where at the start of the video I said that Gilbert Burns has one thing that no one expects, that is a saving grace, is that knockout power. But at the start of the video, I don't know if you remember when I was listing all his key attributes, his knockout power is actually unreal. I don't know what it is, but it takes one shot to finish a fight, and where I've used him so much that it's now like muscle memory, that I know, okay, I could be getting beat up, it doesn't matter by who, I just need that one shot. But the important thing is, I don't need to just rely on that one shot, because I know, okay, I can get into the ground, work submissions, but I've got time for that. I've got 3 more rounds that if I can't rock him this round, the next round I would have taken him down, and I'll see what we can do. So we'll let the fight play out. Just, I'm seeing, trying to find, because obviously my block's now taking damage as well, so I'm having to sway a lot more, and I'm looking for an opening. Okay, and what I've done is, this is one thing I've always said you should do, is limit how many big strikes you throw, because if you throw big strikes consistently, not only does it tax your stamina if you miss, but your opponent's going to get those reads that if you're always throwing overhands and you're always throwing head kicks or big strikes like spinning kicks, they know they're going to dodge it and they're going to hit you and it's going to hurt. But if you throw one every 2-3 rounds, they're not going to expect it. Now also when it comes, they're not even going to know how to react. It's most likely going to hit them, so bear that in mind. And obviously where Gilbert has that knockout power, and a lot of people don't expect it, all it takes is, like I said, one big shot. So I get the trip here, I'm working the distance, and I've had the best distance for the head kick. That was the perfect head kick, and it's the perfect way to showcase how good Burns' knockout power is. I was dominated that fight. From the first round to the second round, that guy was near enough in control. All it took was one mistake, and because I'd never thrown a head kick that fight, he didn't even expect it. And also, he might not have expected Burns to have that sort of power, which he did. So just this video is a showcase of how good Burns is and why he's the best welterweight in the division. The scorecards are going to come up now, so you can see how the fight was going to be scored and the stats. I'm going to be uploading 2 to 3 times per week, so make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.